Hi guys, thanks for joining me for the big spring clean. Today we're going to be in the bedroom. So it's good to see you. Please join me. I'm going to sit on the bed. I've just made a fresh bed actually. So this is a lovely fresh duvet cover and pillows. And that's the reason why I've made my bed in this way. I'm going to talk about it in a minute. But just notice I've got everything pulled back. It's all neatly tucked in. And the duvet comes right up to the cushions. Okay, so let's just remember that. Right, so sometimes we don't have time to make the bed in the morning. We're in such a rush. We need to get to work. We have a train coming and the time isn't movable. So if we are in a rush, probably the last thing we're going to do is tidy around our room. On the other hand, for some of us, making the bed is one of the first things we do in the morning, even if it's a case of just throwing the cover over and then maybe, neatening it out later on. But just that act of, getting out of the bed, throwing the cover over, and then that's one thing, organized. Well, there's two schools of thought on making your bed. So in terms of practicalities and in terms of, I think, mental serenity in your home, making the bed is a really simple thing that you can do as a starting point for you to then be motivated to do other things. So you might make your bed and then you might pick up the clothes from the corner that have been accumulating during your working week. And then, you might start kind of reaching around for other things and dusting and hoovering. It's also something that signals, organization and calmness. So, for example, if we had a picture of some books right now, and you had a picture of books just thrown in a pile, and then you had the books standing ordered on a shelf, the one that's likely to bring us more serenity is the organized side. The other side is fascinating and it's interesting to look at all the different, the way the books have fallen, the colors, all that kind of thing. But it doesn't give us mental calm. If anything, it's keeping us active, taking in all those different elements. So when it comes to the bed, I just think it's a very simple action to give yourself that, that sort of building block for a calm environment. Okay, so what happens if you don't make the bed? Well, there's actually benefits to that as well. Now, okay, so the benefit to it would be when we go to sleep at night, so when I go to sleep in my bed tonight, we're going to spend quite a few hours in there, we're going to get hot, we're going to be moving around. So the best way to actually air your bed, to make sure it's aired after a night's rest, to let any moisture evaporate, and also it also allows for things like dust mites to hop away, or well, to be honest, they actually do die, they suffocate. So it is something that's really beneficial, especially if you have allergens. So if you're someone with allergies, the chances are you're probably going to have specific bed covers and pillows, which I'll talk about in a bit. But the best thing to do is to actually have your bed open for a few hours. So it might be a case, okay, so for me, I actually pull my cover down and I leave the bed open like this. But the argument is, even if you go to sleep at night and your covers are like this, oh, the button's undone. Even if your cover's like this, the argument is that's probably quite good because it means the main part of your bed is airing. Well, what I would actually like to say is I think the best arrangement, so that you can meet both potentials, so you can have the airing of the bed, but you can also, you know, it's very simple, but you can also have the organisation element too. So for me, I do this. So I literally pull it down, right down to the bottom. Okay, so I do that. Now you won't be able to see very well from that angle, but the cover is now starting. If I show you the bed, it's all the way down here. It's all the way down at near to the end. So this main part of the cover where I've been sleeping is airing, and the bed's airing. But this isn't, you know, a disorganized arrangement. And it just literally took me probably 5 seconds. So it's something to think about. It's actually really beneficial to, you know, just do these little touches. And that's why I find it fascinating doing decluttering and organizing as a lifestyle coach. Because when you start looking at these jobs, they can be really fast, really fast. You know, sewing a hole in your sock, that literally takes probably, you know, a minute to thread. And so some of these tasks are actually really simple, but because we have bigger tasks in our lives, you know, unless you learn some of these tricks and tools or someone shares it with you, it's probably, you know, it's just too much to keep adding to your load. So that's why I love these tips and tricks and just little actions that you can do. So I would like to give you 3 tips today. Okay, so again, they're practical tips, but just a reminder. The first one is we want to air our room regularly. So we should regularly open our curtains. Our curtains, our windows. Probably our curtains too, actually. So I might have slipped there because I'm on the front of the house. So in the daytime, the sun is quite bright in this room. And I'm also a collector. So we're going to be talking about collections this weekend, actually. For anyone who's a collector, I've got amazing tips for you. But yeah, so I have a whole collection of books, which I'll show you guys at the weekend. And I have different items that are affected by the sun. So I do tend to keep the curtains closed. I have light curtains anyway, they're beige, you know, they're a beige color. So the sun still comes through. But I like to have that limit of protection, you know, that element of protection for my collection. And also the sun can be quite bright. So if I'm sitting here writing in the day and I can't see my screen, yeah. So yeah, but it's good to open them, you know, for a bit. I definitely do that. I open them up, open up the windows. It's good to get the air circulating in here. And, you know, I just think, yeah, it's really important to have fresh air. Then our second tip is we need to think about changing the bed covers once a week. So we want to do the bedding once a week. If that's not possible, twice a week. So we should really leave it 2 weeks max. And I completely understand these washing capsules and things are really expensive. And also changing the bed, unless, you know, you have it down to an art, which obviously I can show you. I can make a bed in 2 minutes, but it's still a big job. It's one of those things where it's like stretching everything out, shaking everything. So I totally understand, but do put a limit on yourself of 2 weeks. Okay, but ideally 1 week, right? So let's think, have I got a third and final tip for you? Okay, so if you're someone who has allergies, I'm sure you already know about this, but actually I won't take the pillow out, but basically if you're probably looking to get hypoallergenic bedspreads and like duvets and pillows, because then the dust mites cannot penetrate them, and that's super important for your allergies. And I think also if you're someone who, I mean, I'm spending the week now talking about dust, and so I'm actually thinking if there's any pillows here that aren't hypoallergenic, I might get them just for peace of mind. But if, you know, if it's not something you think about too often, and if you don't find you have any irritation, and if you're also changing your bedding once a week, twice maximum, it's absolutely fine. It's just, you know, if you do have those allergies, it's just thinking about yourself, you know, all those ways of reducing things in the air, particles in the air, irritants, and say that you have a much more peaceful sleep. I think it was, is it this month, March? I think it's this month, actually. It was meant to be bed month or sleep month, where you think about, where we really focus on getting a good night's sleep and thinking about different sleep routines. I can't say I've been great at it this month, but it just seems appropriate now to be talking about the bed at the end of, I'm not sure what it's called actually, bed month, World Sleep Month. It might be that, World Sleep. I know that it's sleep month anyway, so if we have nice fresh covers, we take a nice deep breath, stretch out, and we can go to sleep. Okay, I hope you have fun making your bed, and I hope you have your windows open on these lovely spring summer days. If allergies are an issue for you, you know, just do what's right for you, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. So next time when I see you, we are talking about archiving and shredding. So this is an important one for a lot of us, actually. When it comes to post, it comes to paperwork, it's quite easy to make a stack. And it's also quite easy to just throw it into a file. So tomorrow we're going to be thinking about, do we archive it or do we shred it? And I can tell you now, I need lots of motivation to do this job. So I've thought of tips and ideas of how to motivate you. All right, thanks so much, and I'll catch you tomorrow.